Module 2.4 will discuss wind and relative humidity. What does current wind and relative humidity look like in Suriname? I will first present the current status and then talk about the trend between 1990 to 2014 as I've been doing in the previous videos. So let's start with maximum daily winds. The maximum daily wind speed reaches the maximum value of 40 kilometers per hour off the coast and around 35 kilometers per hour in the southeastern region. For the rest of Suriname, the values vary between 25 to 32 kilometers per hour. In terms of the trend from 1990 to 2014, wind speeds have generally been showing a decreasing trend. In terms of strong wind days, where wind speed is over 40 kilometers per hour, these strong wind days occur more than 50 times a year in the center and southeast of the country and more than 100 times per year on the coast. In terms of relative humidity, it is very high for all of Suriname at 80% or higher. Let's look at some maps and tables to review what I was just describing in the previous slide. So again, these maps and the data is from the State of Climate Report from 2021. This map is showing the average maximum wind speed in kilometers per hour for 1990 to 2014. As we can see, maximum daily winds reach the max value of 40 kilometers per hour in dark green just off the coast here. The local maximum over the higher ground in the southeastern region is about 35 kilometers per hour, and the rest of the country sort of varies between 25 to 32 kilometers per hour, as you can see by the lighter green colors. This table is showing the average value of maximum wind speed for 7 locations in Suriname and the rate of change per decade. Across the 7 points of interest, maximum wind speed shows a decreasing trend, ranging in different values. Note the confidence on these results is generally high or very high, with the exception of wind trends on the coast, which are generally less reliable. What about Suriname's current wind extremes? This map is showing wind extremes, specifically the number of days when maximum wind speed exceeds 40 kilometers per hour. Strong wind days occur more than 50 times a year in the center and southeast of the country and more than 100 days per year on the coast, as you can see in these pockets of orange and red. This map shows the average relative humidity, so the percent, for the reference period 1990 to 2014. As you can tell, relative humidity is very high for all of Suriname at approximately 80% or higher. The maximum values for relative humidity are usually found on the coast, and slightly lower values are found further inland, as you can see by this lighter red here. What will future wind and relative humidity look like in Suriname? The State of Climate Report assessed 2 emission scenarios, SSP2 4.5 and SSP5 8.5. They also took the reference period 1990 to 2014 and compared it to 3 future time periods. And what do the projections show? Related to wind speed, the mean and maximum wind speed and wind extremes show very little change for both scenarios over all time periods. More information is needed on the impact of hurricanes on wind regimes and how Sibi Busi, an extreme precipitation and wind event, may change with climate change. Related to humidity, as Suriname is expected to become drier and experience less precipitation, relative humidity is projected to decrease in the short term and then recover in the long term, with average relative humidity increasing back to 80% in the coastal region and between 65 and 70% in the south of Suriname. Let's explore future wind speed under SSP5 8.5. These maps are showing the projected maximum wind speed for the 3 future time periods under SSP5 8.5. As we can see, maximum daily wind speed is projected to vary only slightly. SSP-5 shows slightly stronger winds along the coast, but this does not show any remarkable trends in the future. Hurricanes play a very small role in Suriname, as its location in the south of the Caribbean protects it from the worst effects of the hurricanes. Hurricanes in the Caribbean are projected to increase in the future, but there is no evidence pointing to them affecting South America any more than they currently do. What about wind extremes? The number of days per year in which strong winds occur show very little change for all locations and periods. Only Kwamalasamutu shows a significant increase in days with strong winds. Sibibusi, the name given in Suriname to extreme events of rain and wind, are common at the end of the rainy season in August. Changes in timing of seasons might also affect Sibibusi's frequency and intensity, but there is no available information regarding this extreme at this time. Let's look at projected relative humidity for Suriname. These maps are showing projected relative humidity for SSP-5 8.5, the high emission scenario, for 3 future time periods. The climate in Suriname is expected to become drier, particularly under the SSP-5 8.5 scenario, and relative humidity is projected to decrease in the near future for both of the emission scenarios. In the southwest, relative humidity could decrease by up to 14% for the SSP-5 8.5 scenario. However, in the long term, humidity shows a recovery for most of the country, which will put the new average at 80% in the coastal region and between 65 and 70% in the south of Suriname. And you can see this recovery in relative humidity here in the color in the southwest. It goes from orange back to red as relative humidity recovers, and the same is true for the coast.